Welcome, I'm Lauren from Zestful Kitchen, and welcome to Everyday Gourmet, where I share realistic recipes for the avid home cook using fresh ingredients and global flavors. Today we're making one of my favorite side dishes for summer. It's a sour cream potato salad. I said potato. We're making a potato salad that is made with sour cream instead of mayonnaise, not for any health reasons, but because it's just so light and fresh and tangy. It's just a fun upgrade from your classic mayonnaise-based potato salad. It's also loaded with fresh herbs. It's just bright, it's fresh, but it's also very classic. That was really long-winded. So the base of this potato salad is small gold potatoes instead of like larger gold potatoes. They are just a little bit creamier. They're gonna cook more evenly. You don't have to cut them ahead of time. You just put them right into your pan and cook them. I find it's just a lot easier prep. We're also gonna start it in a cold pot. Not cold. We're gonna start it in an unheated pot, unheated water. Start them in cold water and then bring them up to temp. And what that's going to do is it's going to slowly cook the potatoes super evenly. It's just going to make for a really creamy interior of the potato. Cover the potatoes with water until they're fully submerged. If you're using a larger saute pan, more water is better. And then we'll bring this to a boil without any salt. And then once it comes to a boil, we'll add the salt, because if we added it ahead of time, it'll actually take a lot longer for the water to come to a boil because salt increases the boiling point. Now we're gonna make the dressing. So while the potatoes cook, I'm going to make the very simple sour cream base of the salad. And we're gonna start with a half a cup of our sour cream. Just put that in there, and then we're gonna load it up with a ton of herbs. We're gonna do a quarter cup each of dill, parsley, and chives. You can use really any tender herb. I really think chives is important. If you can't find chives, can't find good chives, you can also use scallions or even some minced shallot, but I do like the herby, oniony flavor that they add. So we're gonna add those in. If you have leftover from mincing, I would reserve those for just sprinkling over top. And then we'll do some parsley. A good substitute for this would be cilantro if you love cilantro and have it on hand. Same goes with dill. You can use cilantro or tarragon. Basil would be really beautiful in the peak of summer if you have a lot of it in your garden. Mince these up. That goes in. And then we're gonna finish with dill. Quarter cup of each. If you don't wanna do all three, you can just do two. I was developing a recipe in a test kitchen and the editor was like, too many herbs. 3 is too many herbs. But I don't think that's true. But you can always use 2 if 3 is too many. Now I'm just gonna add that in. Okay, the next thing we're gonna add are some capers, and they're gonna add a nice salty bite, similar to, what's a normal potato salad that would add a salty bite? I don't know. Nothing I can think of. I'm gonna drain them into a bowl because they're so hard to get out. All right, so I'm gonna measure out 3 tablespoons of these, mince them, and then we're also gonna use the brine. So I would reserve the brine because we're gonna add some of that to the dressing, but also to season to taste at the end because it is so salty and briny. I'm just gonna rough chop them. I don't like when they're super minced. I like when there's still some big bites because you get a nice pop of texture. All right, then I'll do a tablespoon of the caper brine. The other thing that's gonna add a ton of savoriness, a little bit of saltiness, a little bit of a bite is gonna be some Dijon mustard. We're gonna add a whole tablespoon of that. And then for some crunch, we're gonna add some celery. And I got the most beautiful celery at the store yesterday. So we're gonna add some of the greens as well. I find it so hard to find like this these days, but this is how it should be sold. I call it a 2-for-1 because you get the celery and the greens, so you can make a salad. But we're gonna use some of these greens as some of the herbs because it adds a ton of flavor. I'm not gonna do too much because they can be pretty potent, but I'll probably do just a couple of leaves. Also, side note, this is the best way to store celery. Once you've like washed it, if you just put it in a large piece of foil and roll it up and just loosely crimp the edges like that, this will stay crisp far longer than if you just keep it in its plastic bag. This is also how you should store rhubarb. Okay, so then we're just gonna mince these up. Oh, it's half-ish, it's perfect. Okay. You can save any of these celery greens for like a salad. They'd be great. in, honestly, a fruit salad, like a grape salad or a strawberry salad, but they'd also be good in like a side green salad. Okay, those are in. And then that's it. Once our potatoes, they're almost to a boil, then we'll season them, let them cook, and then we'll season everything to taste. All right, they've been cooking for about 20 minutes and they're perfect. They still stick to the skewer, but they pop off pretty easily if you shake them. So then I'm just gonna put them in a bowl to cool. So we'll let those dry. We want them to also, well, we want them to cool, but we also want them to dry out. And then we're gonna whisk up our dressing. And I'm gonna have my capers on standby so I can add some of the brine if I need to. We're gonna start cutting these. So some of the potatoes will be larger than others. So if they're bigger, I'm gonna quarter them. If they're smaller, I'm gonna halve them. Ooh, hot. So now we're gonna add the titers to the sour cream. I'm just gonna add them in. All right, everything's in. Oh, it's loosening up nicely. Looks good. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so green. It smells good. The celery is necessary. The Dijon mustard is absolutely necessary. And the capers, also necessary. Okay, I'm gonna try it and then we might need to add some more seasonings. That is good. That is so good. Okay. We need some salt because potatoes need just a lot of salt. And then I'm gonna add some caper brine as well. I'm also gonna add a little bit more pepper. Oh, it's so good and it's so pretty. There she is. So pretty. I'm going in because it looks so good. It's like the flavor of summer, but it's lighter. It's not quite as heavy as regular potato salad. You can bulk this up with hard-boiled eggs if you want. You can make it more traditional that way, or you can make it like this and just enjoy the hell out of all of those herbs in your garden. It's so good. You can get the full recipe on zestfulkitchen.com. I'll also link it below in the caption. I hope you enjoy it. If you make it, let me know. Let me know how you made it your own. And I'll see you right back here next week for another everyday gourmet recipe. Yay. Ooh, 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 ooh. I gotta take a picture of this.